Alright, so here we go. Predictions for EU qual number 3. Very, very important here. The last qualifier we'll see with any region, which means that we're deciding the final 3 teams that'll go to the major for this split. Karmine already confirmed. BDS, Gentlemates, Magnifico are not confirmed. So with these predictions, we'll see who I think the final 3 teams will be to qualify for the major in Copenhagen. So we'll get straight into it. Alright, Karmine versus Wild. Karmine, they just won the previous 2 events, so I'm gonna have them winning this one 3-1. I'm gonna say it'll be competitive. I think they'll find themselves lacking at least a little bit of motivation, Karmine. Just because they won the last 2, so maybe they'll slip up just one game, maybe a game 1, But yeah, BDS Novo. This is actually a very big story. Wild had already made the first qualifier, so it's not too surprising to see them. But Novo, very, very surprising to see them, especially because they didn't even come in with a roster that they wanted to. Kind of got Rukia as a last-second replacement because their third couldn't play, and they made it all the way to the main event. Rukia was not expected to do this well at all, so very, very big props to them and Rukia for getting all the way to top 16 EU. And as well, Dead Monster, a return to the main event. I'm very happy to see that. But the round 1 match, it's not an easy one to say the least. BDS versus Novo. I'm gonna have to back BDS, and I think they'll be coming in hungry this event. I'm gonna give them a 3-0. Gentlemates Moist. Ooh, this is actually a really good match. Gentlemates Moist. This is actually the match between the team that I thought would get top 4. The split versus the team that ended up getting top 4. So far, at least, instead of them, that being Gentlemates, as you can see in the points ranking. As of right now, they are 3rd place in the points. So, they're very likely to make it. And they're playing against Moist, who I thought would be a team within that top 4. I didn't predict Gentlemates. I would have put them 5th going into the split, and clearly they've been overperformed according to my expectations. And I'm gonna say, based on what I've seen, I'm gonna have to back Gentlemates. Moist, they didn't make the 2nd qualifier, which is very disappointing for them. And I'm gonna back Gentlemates. I think they're gonna be hungry to make sure that they qualify for the major. Moist, on the other hand, Shopify. I backed Shopify to regain after not qualifying for top 16, and they really did not do well. So I'm gonna go against that logic now, because it didn't work last time, and gonna back Gentlemates here to do well instead of Moist. Magnifico Top Cougars. This is also a really fun match. Top Cougars, they did pretty well last time round. We can check it as well. I think I had them making top 8, but they finished just outside, as you can see here, the highest placed team out of the 2 and 3 teams. So they did pretty well, I would say. I previously look at that round 5, game 5, going all the way to game 5 with Gentlemates there. So I think it was a reverse sweep as well, so quite big. And I expect it to be close again. I'm gonna give it 3-2 to Magnifico. I think Magnifico are probably, that top 4, top 5-ish team, so they should beat them here. Vitality Endpoint. Yeah, I think Endpoint, they made us think too highly of them after the first event. I think top 8 is only something that they could do, but I don't think it's necessarily always the expectation for them for Endpoint here. And we'll see how it plays out in this Swiss here, but Endpoint, I like them, don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna give this a 3 actually, but I'm not backing them. On the other hand, I'm backing Vitality again for now. After I really thought they'd do very well last event, and clearly they did not, if you checked up on those results. But for now, still 3-0 for Vitality in round 1 from me. Oxygen Solary, that's K-Dop, Chaussette, and Rizfox. Another Belgian coming in Rizfox. Oxygen, I do think they are the better team here. I'm gonna give them a 3-1. Oxygen, they're a very good team. They're in the top 6-7 range. So, you know, I'll definitely, I have to back them. I think currently I kind of see them as the 5th best team, I want to say. I say top 6, 7 because there's a couple teams competing for that spot in my opinion, including Moist, but maybe not right now though. That's kind of the issue with Moist, is maybe not right now, but I really think they can be much better than what they've shown so far. Anyways, Redemption, fast forward. Another fun match. I think Redemption, they proved to me that they were actually pretty good, and last time around I was kind of worried, you know, predicting them to do sort of well, because I think I put them in 2 and 3 round, and that's kind of higher than most people would, I think. But they actually outperformed that. They went 3 and 2. But honestly, I was on the brink of losing all hope for Redemption, even though I'd only watched 1 event. But I was kind of like, if it was 2 events in a row where they go 1 and 3, then, you know, you gotta say this team is not as good as I thought. But no, they proved to me that they are pretty good. So now I can kind of back it with confidence more so than before. So I give them a 3-1 against Fast Forward here. But Belly Goal versus Team 3. Good series, Team 3. I backed them to at least do close, somewhat close to what they did in the first event. But they were performing much more to my expectation in the second event. 1-3, not quite that bad. I would have predicted them to do that bad. I would have said 2-3. Whereas first time around, I think they went 3 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. We'll check that just to be sure. Yeah, they did, which was beyond my expectation just slightly. But you know, I think they'll regain. I think they are a better team than Belly Goal, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. So I'm gonna give them a game 5 victory there. BDS Team 3. Again, I think BDS will be really good. I give them a 3-1 there. Vitality, Magnifico. The Spanish team facing not the Italian Titans. Damn, that's not something you hear often in Rocket League. No, the French Titans, but sort of undermined now by Karmine. But they only have actually 1 French player, so they are the French Titans. I would still back them over Gentlemates, though. You know, that's a very close situation right there. Yeah, no, I'm gonna give Vitality the win. Though it should be somewhat close. I give that 3-1. Karmine Redemption. Gotta back Karmine 3-1 again. Gentlemates Oxygen. That's a big series as well. That is a really big series, and I think Gentlemates might just crumble under the pressure. I'm gonna give this one a game 5 victory to Oxygen actually. Belly Goal versus Novo. I know Novo will be really excited to play this event, so I'll give them a game 5, but I'm gonna give it to Belly Goal still. Top Cougars Endpoint. Now, this is an extremely exciting match, actually, because it's kind of a team that I think should be making top 8 versus a team that already has made top 8, which maybe wasn't quite as expected, though you're always, Endpoint is that kind of team that's within that range, definitely, but I back Top Cougars beyond them, personally, so I am going to give them a 3-1 victory over Endpoint. Fast Forward versus Wild, you know, this is a pretty close match. Wild, I am not the biggest fan. I know they've got Emil Vold. Let me check the third event here. They've got Emil Vold, Tempo, and Rai. But for me, I feel like Simas is just on the come up, and I think Fast Forward have an overall better roster, though it is close. So I'll give it a 3-2. I'll give it a 3-2. Wild, they match up Fast Forward closely here. Is my prediction at least. Solary Moist. This is actually a rematch of an early upset in the second event, which resulted in Moist going into the lower brackets before even making top 16, which heavily influenced into Moist eventually not even qualifying for top 16. But I think Moist should be able to get back at them here. I give them a 3-1. BDS Oxygen, again, BDS, I'm high on them for this event. 3-1 for BDS. Vitality Karmine. It's a really tough one. It's a really tough one because you can so easily imagine this kind of scenario where Vitality or G2 from NA and Genji from NA and Karmine or G2 from NA, where you can see Vitality kind of getting revenge in the third event, Karmine slightly slacking, and then Vitality putting more effort in because, you know, not quite getting the results they wanted. So you can easily imagine that swaying, but I don't quite see it, you know. For me, I really thought the comeback would have been in the second event if they truly were still that skill level, but I think they've dropped. I honestly think Vitality have dropped in skill level since round, you know, the end of last season. So I'm gonna give it to Karma. I think Vitality, they're having some issues. I think they're having some drastic issues. So 3-1 Karmine. Gentlemates versus Fast Forward. Fast Forward, they'll they can make it close, but I'm gonna have to give this to Gentlemates. Redemption Moist. I'm gonna give this to Moist. I think they'll beat Redemption in a close game 5, but for Moist it's gonna be a question of can they build more confidence to actually achieve what I think they should be able to. So I'm gonna give them a game 5 victory there. Magnifico belly goal. I'm gonna give this to Magnifico. I'll give it a 3-0. Why not 3-0? I haven't gone for a lot of 3-0s. Team 3 Top Cougars. 3-1 for Top Cougars. Gonna be my prediction for that. I think I just have them edging them out barely, but I'll say game 4. Wild Endpoint. This is when I finally start back at Endpoint here. I'll give them a 3-0. Why not? Solary Novo. Ooh, this is really fun. Because you kind of have like, you know, the veterans in Solary, other than Risfox, of course. And then Novo with one veteran and then 2 rookies. One of them being Rukia. With the kind of substitute story going on there. So that's actually a really fun series. That's definitely, you know, my favorite scenario for this kind of bracket is have them facing each other for, well, not for elimination, but, you know, to survive. I think Solary would edge them out. I think Solary would beat them in game 5. We'll say. So that's Novo and Wild eliminated. BDS Karmine in to top 8. So now round 4, upper round 4, Vitality Moist. I'm gonna back Vitality. I'm gonna give it 3-1. Oxygen Magnifico. Ooh, this is a tight one. Give it to Magnifico. Gentlemates Top Cougars. I'd love to give this to Top Cougars, but I just can't. I'm gonna say game 5. Redemption Solary. Gonna give this one to Redemption to survive. 3-1. Belly goal endpoint. 3-1 for endpoint. Fast forward Team 3. I'll give Team 3 the game 5 victory. So then, round 5. To qualify for top 8, Top Cougars versus Redemption. I'm gonna back Top Cougars. That's a 3-2 in my opinion. That's a very tight matchup there. Oxygen Team 3 again. That's a really good matchup. Gonna give another game 5. And Moist endpoint. There we go. I'm gonna give that a 3-1 for Moist. So that's my top 8. BDS, Karmine, Vitality, Gentlemates, Magnifico, Top Cougars, Moist, and lastly, Oxygen. Just barely missing out Redemption endpoint Team 3. Alright, so playoffs now. We got BDS versus Oxygen first. I'm gonna give this to BDS here. So a very tough run here for Oxygen. Unfortunately, they don't have a great quarterfinal matchup, which is you know, gonna really make the run to the major difficult, and I don't think they'll do it. I'm gonna give a 4-1 to BDS. Gentlemates versus Magnifico in a second matchup here. Honestly, I think this could just go the other way. I'm gonna give it to Magnifico in game 7. Yep, I'm gonna say that. Karmine versus Moist. I think Karmine will have a difficult run here. I will say 4-3. I'll make it really tight for the quarterfinal for Karmine. I think they won't have an easy time. Vitality versus Top Cougars. I'm gonna say 4-1 for Vitality. Upper semis, BDS versus Magnifico. We'll say 4-2 for BDS. Karmine Vitality. I'm gonna say 4-2 for Karmine. And BDS versus Karmine. I am going to say 4-3 for BDS. It's not a prediction I'm confident in, but I think BDS will have a good event, and Karmine, they're gonna just slightly slack in this event, just slightly. And then here you go. I mean, that's a tiebreaker, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. A three-way tiebreaker for my predictions. Karmine, BDS are in, but Magnifico, Vitality, Gentlemates, they would be going through a three-way tiebreaker to decide who doesn't go to the major out of those three teams. So, yeah. So I guess these are exciting predictions. If you're gonna ask me which team do I think won't make the major between those three, I think Vitality would be able to just about make it as well. I feel like if you have Vitality play against Magnifico or Gentlemates, they should win that at least the majority of the time. And I think Magnifico, because they have just played Gentlemates at 1 against them, I feel like they would just do it again. I think Gentlemates would be at a disadvantage because of that, because Magnifico had just won. Because Gentlemates think naturally Magnifico would just win again. So, yeah, slightly unfortunate for Gentlemates, but yeah, I guess that's my prediction. This top four is correct. Maybe not in order necessarily, but yeah, I would have Karmine, BDS, Magnifico, and Vitality being the teams at the major. So yeah, there we go. Those are my predictions for the third event. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts on my predictions, and I'll see you later.